Good day, folks, and welcome to another edition of Lumberjack Logic Live. I'm your host, Neil Johnson. Always excited to be with you and share the news with you, my great, lovely, loyal audience. Thank you so much for joining me today. Folks, things just keep heating up in Minnesota. It's interesting that Minnesota is the ground zero for all of this. The FBI has now confirmed that they are doing an investigation into the Signal Gate chat here in Minneapolis. As leftists flee, Timmy Walz is freaking out, because you need to understand Minnesota is ground zero for this because Minnesota is industrial scale fraud. Okay. It's not just financial fraud, it's also industrial scale voter fraud. Minnesota is going to lose a congressional seat just by the number of deportations that have already occurred. That means Minnesota is going to be basically our United States Congress is going to change as a direct result of immigration laws being enforced in Minnesota. Tom Homan is on the ground here. I'm going to read a statement from President Trump, but not before we listen to a little Ice Ice Baby.
Tom Homan, Ice Ice Baby. Tom Homan, come through the...
That's right, Tom Homan. I am sending Tom Homan to Minnesota tonight. He has not been involved in that area, but knows and likes many of the people there. Tom is tough but fair and will report directly to me. Separately, a major investigation is going on with respect to that massive $20 billion plus welfare fraud that has taken place in Minnesota and is at least partially responsible for the violently organized protests going on in the streets. I want you to keep that in mind. As you're watching these, where is the money coming from? Where is the money coming from? We need to dismantle the financial infrastructure of these leftist terrorist organizations. Okay. I actually found an amazing video. I should have brought that into the show, Rebecca. I really should have brought that into the show. I might try and airdrop that to you here in just a minute while we have the video playing. But this is actually, there's been a takeover of the Democrat Party by the Democrat Socialists of America, DSA, installing these candidates like Zohran Mamdani. What's his name? I don't even pay attention to the guy. But then there's the mayor in Seattle as well. But the money, the financial networks, that's where this is all at. The welfare fraud that has taken place in Minnesota is partially responsible for the violent organized protests going on in the streets. Additionally, the DOJ and Congress are looking at Congresswoman, he puts it in parentheses, Ilhan Omar, who left Somalia with nothing and is now reportedly worth more than $44 million. Time will tell all. Thank you for your attention to this matter. President Donald J. Trump. Yes, he is sending Tom Homan to Minnesota, which reminds me of another line in the Ice Ice Baby song.
Flew them up north, so they gotta go to the extreme. I run ops with no shambles, sinning in rage. I'm stashing up all the vandals.
Yeah, snapping up all the vandals, man. I tell you what, flying them up north because that's where the action is, right here in Minnesota, my home state. By the way, folks, Minnesota is absolutely gorgeous. Whatever you're seeing play out right now down there in the Twin Cities, and I may end up leaving Minnesota. I mean, if it just goes completely to pot here, if we don't see some changes, but I want you to think in terms of just how beautiful of a piece of ground this is. Many of you have come to resorts in Minnesota, gone fishing in Minnesota because we have over 10,000 lakes. It's actually over 14,000. It's absolutely beautiful. The North Shore of Lake Superior is stunning. But yes, FBI Director Kash Patel has confirmed a full investigation into the act of left-wing terrorist signal chats in Minnesota. We're going to get into those signal chats because the people are fleeing. But I want you to listen to this video from Tom Homan here first.
6% decline. 96% less people are coming. How many women aren't being raped? How many children aren't dying making that journey? How many women and children aren't being sex trafficked into this country every day? How many known suspected terrorists aren't just walking across that border? President Trump and this administration is saving thousands of lives every month. Hard stop. That's just a stone cold fact. I'm just proud to be a part of this. I work with Steve Miller every day. Steve Miller is one of the most brilliant people I met in my entire life.
Brilliant.
President
Totally brilliant. Stephen Miller is actually the one who's kind of organizing this from behind the scenes for the Trump administration and is doing such an excellent job. I want to note something there that he said, and this is so true. remember, there was no leftist outrage. In fact, Democrats opposed the Lake and Riley Act. There was no Democrat outrage over the deaths of American citizens who had been here for a long period of time at the hands of it didn't exist. But there's all this outrage over people who are interfering with lawful law enforcement operations. So again, I don't want to give these protesters too much air, oxygen, whatever it is. What I do think is amazing is how they have been radically exposed. I want to actually, before I show you all the people fleeing Minnesota, Trump isn't targeting blue states. They just gum up the works to require more ICE presence. Look at this. Look at this chart. People say, why the focus on Minnesota? Well, here's the thing. These deportations are going on, okay, all over the place. Okay. People are like, oh, there's more illegals in Texas. Yeah, there's lots. And guess what? They're getting deported. And we're not having big problems. Why is that? Well, because state and local authorities simply cooperate with ICE. Her name is. We just cooperate, but they're not cooperating. They don't want to cooperate. They want to show. They need more deaths, folks, of peaceful protesters. They're not peaceful protesters. If you guys haven't figured this out, let's go to this character here. Libs of TikTok posted this a little bit ago. This guy posted confidential papers which were stolen by rioters from DHS vehicles in Minnesota. He says he's on the ground in Minneapolis fighting with his comrades. Whoa, comrade. That sounds very Soviet. That sounds very, very fascist. So he's showing these things off, and here's his video.
Yo, it's my birthday. Jesus here, and
it's his
there's no
birthday.
place I'd rather be than in Minneapolis fighting alongside comrades against this fascist bullshit, but I had to step out just to honor myself for a couple days. If you would like to contribute to the on-the-ground fighting or just to bless up for the birthday, it would be an absolute honor. So much love, and I'll be back in a couple days. It's my motherfucking birthday.
No. We should have cut that last part out, Rebecca. You were a little slow to the punch on that. Okay, where's your mic, Rebecca? I can't even hear you.
Oh, I have it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Anyways, show that picture too from that post. So you can see here he is, his papers and FBI iced his little metal pins that he stole, and he's showing off his papers. This guy's a piece of work. Okay. And he wants to honor himself. That's really a big statement. I'm not even going to go all the way into that. Okay, check this out. Signalgate Cam Higbee Moss, an admin in one insurrectionist signal group, says that after I expose them, it will take a while to get things up and running. Moss indicates that links will only be given in person, so get out there and ask for links. Don't give an inch. That's Higbee talking to people. Get out there themselves. I mean, the conservatives need to get out there and get these links too. Said, you connect in real life if you're a real person. On it, I'm handicapped, so I don't get out much, but will ask my brother to get info. Thanks. Stay safe, miss. And then has to go recheck the spelling because it's Moss. And look up top. Moss goes by they. Folks, if you can't see the humor in that, stay safe, miss. Moss is a they, folks. A they. Oh, folks. Smash that like. Do chat in with where you're from. Let's see who's on the stream here. I'll call out a few folks. I see Michelle on there, Rainmaker. Thank you so much. Hey, we got a troll in the chat. That's awesome. Welcome the troll. What, his name's Nathan? Go away, Nathan Troll. Mods, you may want to watch this troll. What's going on out there? What's if I find anything from Nathan, time to arrest ICE. Okay, Nathan, probably not gonna happen. Just want to give you a little warning there. Probably just not gonna get what you want. Okay, but those who have connected previously will connect the people they know, but it will take a minute to get things up and running again. So they're having trouble in their signal chat down there. Check this out. Metal nationalists, someone got into the Signal group chat and exposed leftist plans to flee. We're in so much trouble. This is probably my favorite. Okay. This is Sky Whispers. Okay. Profile names, no groups in common. Sky, what do we do now? Run. Run where? I don't know. Out of the state. I'm leaving tonight. I don't know what's happening. We're in so much trouble. Why would we be in trouble? Relax. Signal is not secure. Signal is not secure. I worked in communications. Once they figured out where we were, it's only a matter of time. Flan has been exposed. We're all effed. I need to leave this state. Should I leave too? Maybe best to get out of country. I have contacts in Cuba. It was a thought. Okay, folks, this plays. I have to admit, as I read this, it's almost too good, right? The communists looking at fleeing to Cuba, and you got to wonder if somebody's in there trolling them. If Sky Whispers is a troll, I don't know. I'm just saying, I don't know, but it's sure funny to watch the reaction on the other end. Have you been in contact with the others? Hopefully, everyone knows to get out. No, just logged in. Oh, okay. Anxious to get the new Isles group up and running. We have to lock this down now. I can't find the new links. Same. Pretty sure the FBI just pulled up to my neighbor's house. I'm sorry, this stuff is awesome. And then here's another one. Minneapolis libs are melting down about me on Blue Sky. Blue Sky, for those who don't know, because it's a meaningless platform, is the leftist alternative to X, where they can live in their echo chamber. Okay. Minneapolis libs are melting down about me on Blue Sky. There's a new sheriff in town. Go back to your holes. Space Ranger. Urgent security alert. Minneapolis signal groups infiltrated. DHS ICE agents are undercover provocateurs have successfully infiltrated the local signal groups. They are currently doxing members, leaking group lists, and using the coordinated tactics to frame peaceful observers as insurgents. Folks, you're watching this, okay? Again, I'm not going to address directly. I've seen so many videos and different things, and a hand and a shadow and a gun and all this stuff. I'm going to wait till they do the investigation on this dude. But the bottom line is he shows up as a left-wing activist. He's part of the Signal chat group, okay? He wasn't just some VA nurse out there just caught up in it trying to protect a woman. Come on. This is absurdity. Do you know who I blame for this? I mean, so this guy was just a useful idiot of the communist regime. The Democrats like Peggy Flanagan telling people that they need to put their lives on the line, their bodies as a living sacrifice to the church of communism. Seriously, it's whacked, okay? But that's who I blame for this. That's who I blame. Because they and the media have given these people such a mind that they actually do think Trump is a fascist. It'd be really wild if all of a sudden we say, all right, let's just let Trump be a fascist. Because I tell you, there would be no protests. There would be no protests. All of these people would be hiding in their hidey holes, hoping to God that they didn't have the goon squad come in and arrest them. Hidey holes, hoping to God that they didn't have the goon squad come in and arrest them. Now, I think a bunch of these people do need to be arrested. Okay. But if Trump wanted to go fascist, we'd have martial law, we'd have boots on the ground, we'd have full tilt, not just insurrection act. It would be full tilt. Okay. And, that's what the deal. Oh no, Nathan, we're not going to block you. You're just adding comments to the chat. You're helping out the channel. Guys, let Nathan just chat away there. Don't block him. I mean, he's a fool. He's just helping get in chat engagement up, okay? And that's all good. That's all good. We're just going to get this information out to more people. We're already up to 1,631 watching, okay? This in Minnesota, I've taken the carry class. One of the things that you do is you don't go looking for trouble with a gun. That's just not something you do. So like I said the other day, when I went down and filmed protests and live stream from there, I didn't bring a gun. I wouldn't bring a gun to that. That's foolish. And I certainly wouldn't engage. And then they're trying to make the comparison with Kyle Rittenhouse. Kyle Rittenhouse just quickly gave up his gun. He was attacked by a leftist mob. That's the reality of that situation. Okay. This guy was given orders by law enforcement and chose to fight while he had a gun on him. Very bad, stupid decision. Okay. Stupid. There's no other way to put it. Don't make a Second Amendment argument about this. Okay. Because it's not. I mean, if he wants to show up there, he can. But he's also going to pay some pretty harsh consequences, which he did. Pure silliness. Okay. Then we go down here. Space Ranger O continues. Conservative operator Cam Higbee has been undercover in the groups for days. He has publicly shared screen recordings of member lists and explained the emoji coding system. Our coding system, folks. Do you know what's really interesting about all this, though, is all the politicians that we have now found on the Signal chat. Look at this. Arun Chaudhary, a Minneapolis City Council member, has been linked to the top of an anti-ICE Signal chat group. This revelation is fueling calls for a major investigation into her and other city officials allegedly involved. So this gal is Minneapolis Ward 12, and here she is in the Signal group as well. So we're seeing consistently, it's all Democrats, obviously. There's not Republican politicians in the Signal chat groups outing themselves. It absolutely, so some of these people use like Boogie, or they use little handles in here. Arun was so brazen, she just put her whole name in there. So he can easily identify her. This is nuts. Let's go to this next one. A Republican. Trust is their biggest currency. Sympathists got COINTELPRO denigrated and smeared because it was far too effective in breaking up communists and stopping daily bombings literally overnight. Infiltrate, destroy their fragile psyche. 0 hour. This guy keeps hacking into their communities. They keep hacking into our communities. What do we do now? They are freaking out. See, as long as they can stay in the dark, as soon as a little light shines, they are scurrying like cockroaches, folks. Here's another one. This community spreadsheet of terrorist chats following 0 hours take over the Isle rapid response Signal. Betty Davis said that there is a spreadsheet for the Signal chats. There are far more than either 0 hour or I have found. They're in full panic mode right now. In fact, Therese McDindu, I'm literally shaking right now. Tom Talscandy, this is your best effort to infiltrate and stop community work. You are even more. Response. No, this is just entertainment for the mildly involved. And then somebody responds, communist crusher. I have your address. You all forgot about an important detail when you thought you were big and tough. Betty Davis. What needs to happen is changing the password to access a community group spreadsheet and then never make the password public again. Only word of mouth access. The beauty of word of mouth access, folks, is they're going to be infiltrated again with word of mouth, and then they're really going to fall apart. Do you guys all see how beautiful this is? Fleeing to Cuba. That's beautiful. Gosh. Oh, seriously, in the chat, do you guys all see how great this is? That some conservative influencers infiltrated their chat. While you're answering that, I'm going to mention my sponsor. That's MyPillow, mypillow.com/lumberjack for big savings on the best sleep products available. Folks, Rev 7, this is my favorite new energy drink. Okay, this is what I use before cycle. These shots do not contain any artificial flavors, no artificial sweeteners. They are actually done with stevia. Stevia is what is utilized in the Rev 7. They also have the carbonated cans. Those do have an artificial sweetener right now. But I love this stuff. I absolutely love this Rev 7. It uses ketones, not sugar, not caffeine, none of that. But of course, the biggest products are pillows, and my favorite product is sheets. But right now, he has the mattress toppers on sale, and his new mattress topper, over 10,000 pressure points on the Queen alone. Lowest price ever. Lowest price I'd ever seen before was $119.99, but now they are down to $99.99, and free shipping. Also, the mattresses. So if you want to get the best night's sleep of your life, go check out mypillow.com/lumberjack or call 1-800-568-2865. Again, that's 1-800-568-2865. That's my favorite. I always call. I love talking to the people and making sure people have work, meaningful work. Okay. Now let's move on. I'm going to actually share a comment. You don't have this, Rebecca, so you don't have to look for it. But a guy by the name of Cynical Publius said, "A decade on X has greatly lowered my expectations regarding America and Democrats. Nevertheless, I am still astonished when I see hard facts like those uncovered below by Data Republican, and I realize that most Americans simply don't care. This is fraud on the taxpayer on a mutated nuclear scale. Nobody seems to care but you, me, DR, and a bunch of other internet randos. So depressing." And I get what he's saying. I really do. We are getting taxed beyond belief, and our tax dollars are being funneled with the information for your precinct caucus. Reach out to your local Republican Party and make sure we're getting non-rhino candidates elected at the basic level. Okay. People don't write or call their congressman or woman. They don't, and their senators and so on. You're not creating enough of a stink. Okay. These people are out there committed to freezing their bums off and causing disorder and chaos, all in the name. And they are risking arrest. Some did get arrested last night but of course, Mary Moriarty will let them out. So it's only one night of discomfort, I guess. But yeah, that's what's going on. There's this fraud is vast. It's ridiculous. I want to actually, Rebecca, let's go to the thread that Kim Higbee had there on the Minneapolis Signal being infiltrated. And so this is where this all started. Okay. So Cam Higbee infiltrates the chat, and then he shares this. There's all their names, but I want to roll down here. And then this is where he talks about the emoji code. Okay. Which the person was complaining about. But look at this next one. For each occupation or shift position, protesters have to undergo training. It's unclear what the training entails other than numerous random slides of instruction. I've seen it mentioned repeatedly. Who is paying for all this? The training manual was released too. That has come out now. It's communist crap. Minneapolis Signal infiltrated. Each chat for a specific part of each city has smaller districts broken up within it called patrol zones, which guide ICE chasers on where they should be or positioned. Okay. So sharing our Bloomington patrol zones map, which is loosely based on city council districts. And then here you go. Here's a screen recording of their plate database, as well as a link to its instructions. So they're doing a plate database. They're doing all of this. So this is very organized. In fact, my friend Glenn shared something with me today. And I'm going to share that with you here. I think he actually emailed it to me. And I'd actually seen this. I'd pulled this up earlier, but I'm going to just read this. You don't have to go find it, Rebecca. But this guy, Eric Schwalm is his name. He's a former Special Forces warrant officer with multiple rotations running counterinsurgency groups. I will send this over to you, Rebecca. I'm just going to airdrop it to you, and you'll have it. You can pull it up. So Eric Schwalm. So this guy has been a Special Forces warrant officer, multiple rotations running counterinsurgency ops. Listen to this, folks. Both hunting insurgents and trying to separate them from sympathetic populations. I've seen organized resistance up close, from Anbar to Helmand. The pattern is familiar: spotters, cutouts, dead drops, or modern equivalents, disciplined comms, role specialization, and a willingness to absorb casualties. Okay. They're absorbing their casualties while bleeding the stronger force slowly. This is why so many people are calling for Trump right now to just get the Insurrection Act out and put this thing out. And I totally get it. I don't know what the right strategy is, folks. Trump's in that position. He's going to have to make those calls. I might lean towards that myself if I was in that position right now. I mean, it's ridiculous. What's unfolding in Minneapolis right now isn't protest. It's low-level insurgency infrastructure built by people who have clearly studied the playbook. Quick poll, Lumberjack Logic poll in the chat. How many of you think it's time for Trump to roll out the Insurrection Act and just take this thing out right now? Just put this thing down. I don't know how you don't say it is a coup, an attempted coup. Okay. We elected Trump. He was very open about deportations. That's what we elected him for. Okay. What's unfolding in Minneapolis right now isn't protest. It's low-level insurgency infrastructure built by people who've clearly studied the playbook. Signal groups at 1,000 member cap per zone. Dedicated roles, mobile chasers, plate checkers logging vehicle data into shared databases, 24/7 dispatch nodes, vectoring assets, salute-style reporting, that's size, activity, location, unit, time, equipment, and suspected federal vehicles, daily chat rotations, and time deletions to frustrate forensic recovery, vetting processes for new joiners, mutual aid from sympathetic locals, that's teachers providing cover, possible police department tip-offs on license plate lookups, home-based coordination points, rapid escalation from observation to physical obstruction or worse. This isn't spontaneous outrage. This is C2, command and control with redundancy, OPSEC hygiene, and task organization that would make an SF team sergeant nod in recognition. That'd be special forces. Replace ICE agents with occupying coalition forces, and the structure maps almost 1-to-1 to early stage urban cells we hunted in the mid 2000s. The most sobering part, it's domestic, funded, trained somewhere, and directed by people who live in the same community they're trying to paralyze law enforcement in. When your own citizens build and operate this level of parallel intelligence and rapid response network against federal officers, complete with doxing, vehicle pursuits, and harassment that's already turned lethal, you're no longer dealing with civil disobedience. You're facing a distributed resistance that's learned the lessons of successful insurgencies. Stay below the kinetic threshold most of the time. Force overreaction when possible. Maintain popular support through narrative, and never present a single center of gravity. Folks, the only way they can maintain popular support through narrative is with the assistance of the mainstream media. It's the only way. Okay. Oh, somebody set the hook charter just super chatted me $1.99. Thank you so much for that. I spent years training partner forces to dismantle exactly this kind of apparatus. Now pieces of it are standing up in American cities, enabled by elements of local government and civil society. That should keep every thinking American awake at night. Not because I want escalation, but because history shows these things don't de-escalate on their own once the infrastructure exists and the cadre believe they're winning the information war. We either recognize what we're actually looking at, or we pretend it's just still activism until the structures harden and spread. Your call, America. But from where I sit, this isn't January 2026 politics anymore. It's phase one of something we've spent decades trying to keep off our own soil. I thought that was one of the greatest summations of this. It outlines where we're at in the time, the opposition that we're facing, and our response and what that needs to be. This isn't just willy-nilly random protesters springing up out of nothing, folks. This isn't organic. This is organized. It's coordinated, and it's funded. And I want to see our federal law enforcement get serious about going after the funding because it's out there. Data Republic has been uncovering that as well. So that's what's taking place right now out there in the world that we live in. And it's very sobering to think that we are having an insurrection from in the country. And I don't know. I get so frustrated because I brought into the fact that the FBI and Kash Patel said that they're looking into this. They've opened an investigation. But the question is, Why are people on X exposing this? Independent journalists. Why isn't the FBI exposing this? Why aren't we seeing the FBI go on mainstream media every night exposing this? That's what needs to be happening. We also need to have ICE needs to get better about their, I guess, PR campaign, if you want to call it that. We need more pictures, of them holding the kids who have been abandoned by their parents, okay, versus the quote unquote trained observers getting a picture and making it into something that it isn't. Very important. So again, please go check out my sponsor, MyPillow, mypillow.com/lumberjack, or call 1-800-568-2865. Folks, get some of this Rev 7. You will absolutely love it. Helps with brain focus. Like, it works really well for afternoon lulls. If you get those afternoon lulls, have some of this, especially if you can't have sugar. Okay. Because this has no sugar. It has stevia. But sugar is something that activates the frontal lobe of the brain. But this seems to do the same thing without the sugar. It's because it's full of ketones, which is what your body makes when it goes into ketosis. But again, those mattress toppers, phenomenal deal there. $99.99, lowest price I've seen on those ever. The lowest price before was $119.99, and now you got free shipping on top of it. Mike's running some phenomenal deals. Go check it out at mypillow.com/lumberjack, or call 1-800-568-2865. We'll see you on the next episode, folks. Peace out.